We came in close, but no cigar. I was expecting us to be up here. There is the possibility, since we haven't seen it yet, that we see it at the end of the day or first thing in the morning tomorrow. But I do have that we open lower tomorrow, so I'd have to be wrong for that to take place. I'm wrong sometimes. It's just I think probably what we're going to see is a decline down to these levels here. Hey, Robert. Wow, what? How do you mean by amazing eclipse, Robert? Did you just see it? Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I've seen a total eclipse before, so I kind of like, whatever. I'm working. I have a mutual reception between the sun and the moon in my birth chart. So I basically hide out, especially during lunar eclipses. Lunar eclipses, especially. Solar eclipses generally start out negative and become super, super positive for me. But, either way, crazy stuff happens. Like, there was an eclipse on my birthday in 2020, and they say, be careful about your health when there's an eclipse within 4 days of your birthday. Lo and behold, I broke my hand. Some other crazy things happened health wise. Anyhow, I was originally like, I had these calls. Where did they go? You just want to sit like that? Okay. No, you don't want to sit like that. Right. So I earlier in the morning I closed out of the vertical calls that I bought back on. I bought them down here. I put on a vertical call spread with the short side being a 510s, and I had the 508s, or maybe it was it was the 508s and the 510s. Anyhow, because I was hoping I would get an opportunity to open up just long calls in the morning, but I didn't want to risk us opening up super low and me not having protection on those calls. So I chose to do a vertical call spread. Ended up being a pretty good move. I could have opened up the calls. It would have been an even better move, but still, I credited $600 today based on that spread, or almost. I closed out of it because crazy things happen. I've seen crazier things happen. So it was deep in the money, which means it was almost the full value when that it would have been when it's exercised and credited back to you. So I just closed it before it wasn't almost the same value. That took in 600. And then I bought a call, a 520 call, kind of like cost average down a bit on the first 520 call. What I don't like is that they're very, very close to expiration. So I ended up selling against them. It might have been too early selling against them. I created a short vertical spread, a credit spread, a vertical credit spread, if you will, with calls. So when the market goes down, that's good for this spread. So I'm basically all short right now. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm basically all short. I misread something for. I was like, what? Yeah, no, I'm all to the short side right now. Now, at end of day though, like, I want to be careful here, guys. This is like a really, really tricky thing here. Like, we've got lows at the end of the day. But we also have indications that we go from lows all the way to highs. And so we've had a pretty tight range as it is. I was expecting much more of a move, like a price swinging going on today, but this right here is very characteristic of the change card. Just kind of like sidewaysy behavior here. Change card. So I sold against the call somewhere right around here. What time was it? Let's see. So I bought another 520 call at 12:13. Like right down here, so a little bit early, but I wanted to go take Hermes for a walk, so I bought another 520 call down here, kind of cost average down. And then I sold against those calls. Hermes, you're driving me nuts, man. Find a place to sit. And took in like a 700 plus dollar credit by selling lower price calls against them, and I did that at 116. Which was up here. So not perfect timing, but pretty solid, guys. You know what I'm saying? That's using SO Meta. I was expecting a new high here, right? But remember what I say about price levels, like, you know, the movement had happened and we were kind of like risking turning around here. Right, and so this first part of the day kind of got stretched out too. So we had this decline right at the open, 3 crisscrosses into a low, right? And then got the low significator, and then this big move pushing the upper end of a range higher, taking us to another high. Oh, sorry, big move pushing the upper end of a range higher, taking us to another high, or a high for the day, followed by shortly thereafter a decline back into lows. And that's an example of when you see the high and the low stacked right on top of each other, and you generally go like from one to the other. It doesn't mean that they're both within the same hour. A lot of the time they are, but not always. And when they're not, you'll see this, a big move straight from one to the other. Another reason why I think there might be a high here at the end of the day as well is that you've got the high and the low significators correlate to each other, indicating that the highs and the lows are within close time proximity to each other, like we were just discussing. And we've got lows here at the end of the day, and then there's some indications of highs. Plus, when you get the strength card, that usually indicates that you're going from the bottom of a range to the top of a range. In a lot of cases, it means you're going back to a high. Hey, Angfin. Well, it's pretty price swingy here for the rest of the week. Pretty price swingy. I would expect to see this price level down here, but again, I was a little bit off on this one. I would expect to see this price level down here. That's on the 10th. All right, so something down here, and then we should have a big price swing here, like into the 11th, to come back to an important price level. This is the science price level right here, right? Which makes me think that we're probably going to come back to this. But we could go all the way up here based on deductive reasoning. Like we could go all the way up to here, but this is much higher probability around this level. But I think after that, it's pretty much declining back down to these lows. Right, we had sideways Z. Well, we had a drop, and then sideways Z, and then a drop, and then a move higher, right? We had a drop, and then sideways Z, and then a drop, and then a move higher. It's very similar, but not exact because of weekends. And it's also prolonged. This is like an extended kind of energy. It's stretched out compared to this time frame. But I think we probably finished near lowest lows thus far, or close on the 12th. 12th or 15th, and then even lower on the 18th, even lower on the 26th, 29th, very likely. But today, out of all of the places, if I was doing like a multi-day kind of trade, guys, out of all of the places to open up a short, I would be following through on today. So I was expecting a higher move here. We're probably going to go into highs here. What is it? 330. We're probably going to go into highs here. It's really crazy. There's so much back conflicting energy here in this last hour. I mean, there's got to be a low and a high here because we've also got a correlation to the death card. I gotta do something about my camera setup now that I moved my monitors around. Yeah, we're probably going higher and then we go lower is my sense. Yeah, I went long again. And probably right at the close. I bought two of these, right? So now I got four 520 calls and short two 519s. And at the close, provided we're to the upside, I'll sell against them again. It might make sense to hold them. Like, it's hard to say. But, you know, like I said, it's Mercury retrograde. I probably shouldn't be trading as it is. And if I'm wrong and we end up going south really fast, then I'd say tomorrow I probably have the opportunity first thing in the morning to get out of it, but I wouldn't count on that. I'm probably going to sell 518 calls against them, though. All right, so Tesla. Oh, I would very likely be exiting out of a long position here. Interesting. You see that there? That's a little tricky. So it might be that there's a high here at the end of the day on the 12th, and we decline really hard off of it. If we end up at a high at the end of the day rather than a low at the end of the day, I would say, like, if we end up at like a high for the month there, I would say there's going to be a sharp drop off of it. I think I'm probably going to sell against them right here. It's really tricky stuff going on. Yeah, so I sold against them. Took in a really nice credit there. So I've got vertical credit spreads on the calls right now, meaning that there's short positions that I took in money right? I borrowed money. I'm looking, and or I should say, I borrowed a position. I sold it at a high price. Now, what I want to happen is for the position to depreciate so I can buy it back and return it to the person that I borrowed it from. That's basically the way it works, to make it very, very simple. Only thing is that it affected my buying power a little bit because there's a $2 spread here rather than a $1 spread. It affected my buying power, brought it down a little bit more than I would have liked. But it was still a good move based on what's taking place here. All right, what else we got? Will ETH reach 4,000 this week? Hey, Proof. There's probably going to be a price swing here in the last 20 minutes. But there's so much conflicting energy that what's happening is it's just ending up going sideways. Like they're pulling each other, like almost like neutralizing each other, which is pretty interesting. And then again, there's this. This is we're still kind of doing this change thing, right? And then there's a low, and the strength card implies a decline, with a big move out of it from the bottom of a range to the top of a range. Well, we just kind of like tapped it, just barely tapped it, but we did meet that range. And it looks like you can see it looks like I'm a little bit delayed here. Actually, I'm a little bit early. There was this peak, and then this trough, and then this trough, and this peak. Interesting. I got a yes for it hits a 4,000 range this week. Hey, it was luck. Which day this month will be highest for ETH? This really looks like an ace of discs kind of move here. Like probably somewhere around the 13th, 14th, 15th, but I'd be really careful there because there's a high and a low really close to each other there on the 15th. It looks like it's probably the 13th. It might be the same as today's high, though. No, it's got to be higher. It's got to be higher. Let's see. I think we might be near highs here. But that doesn't match up with 4,000. I'm not sure about that 4,000 range. Because I feel like the 13th, 14th is going to be the same price level as the 9th. If it's not, then it's going to be higher, very likely. All right, things are moving in the right direction again here. How does MMF Cronus token look at the end of April? That's not the same Chronos, is it? I don't have that one in 2024 version. But let's see what the cards have to say. Matter of fact, Robert, I'm about to record this one for you for 2025. Please confirm that this is the right ticker or this is the right coin. I just want to be sure because I don't see MMF. Hey, Tabraze. I have XRP going to $10. I have greater than or equal to $10 by the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. So you want to know if it's $5 or more by January of 2025? This probably isn't the best time to be asking price level questions, guys, because there's literally a total solar eclipse going on. What's past now, but I mean, like, it's really not the best timing to be asking questions like that. Um, Ask me another time, my friend. It's too blurry right now. All right, so that is. Oh, that's the negative. The lowest price level for Ethereum is either going to be here at the beginning of July, or it's going to be here. More likely, it's going to be here in October, November. Eli Lilly, more bullish or bearish? Looks like it's kind of like a sidewaysy thing with a big move to the upside at the end of the week. All right, Chronos. I was just double checking on that because it's Mercury retrograde, you know. That would be a very Mercury retrograde kind of mistake to record a whole reading with the wrong ticker and then realize after the fact. So, just double checking. And the question was, how does it look in April? Wait. In the end of April. In comparison to today, the price level in the end of April will be significantly higher. And it looks like it's set up for that. How does AGIX look this week? Bullish. Pretty bullish for the week. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, there's definitely some price swings in here. Yeah, solar eclipse. And I also have a mutual reception between the sun and the moon in my chart, so it's like, definitely things go haywire for me during eclipses, to say the least. Looks like we're picking up steam to the downside here. Yeah, so we'll probably end at a low then. And with that said, there's probably a pretty big move out of the low in the morning here, right here, first thing in the morning. Probably a pretty big, like a really big move. I would use that move to get into a short position, maybe like a partial. You could close out of it for a day trade at another low that take place somewhere around between like 10 and 12. You could also add to the short here. Add an overbought crest between 1 and 2-ish. But I wouldn't wait any longer than that. And it might be that we open significantly lower, so this move to the upside doesn't even take us back to where we want to go. But I think it probably does take us back one more time to highs. Ordi coin this week. Might make sense to cash out here of a long position, at least on like the near term. It looks like 3 pokes through the same price level followed by a sharp decline. And we might even be in the 3rd poke right now. Yeah. I would probably cash out of a long position here for like a near term kind of trade. See, there's this here, right? And it reappears here. I don't think it's there, though. I don't think it's the same one. Ooh, I got the full card for AGIX, so I would definitely follow through on that proof. That AGI, whatever you have planned for AGIX, probably a really solid trade. All right, guys. With that said, I'm gonna roll. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to take advantage of this special offer, guys. It's a total eclipse flash sale. We have it ending on Wednesday because technically the eclipse's energy is a part of like a 5-day cycle, right? Like, or I should say a full moon or a new moon, or like a 5-day cycle with the actual new moon or actual full moon right in the center. And a solar eclipse is one of those, right? So like there's a 5-day period. The sale ends on Wednesday. Some of our best deals yet. Especially somebody... Oh, excuse me. Especially somebody that purchases this one in the middle here. Basically, you're getting four 2025 readings at the rate that they used to be before the price hike. Much appreciation to everybody that goes and does something like that, because definitely good support for the channel. Mercury retrograde is always kind of a, I guess like a contraction kind of phase, if you will, for in my life anyway. So definitely could be of some assistance, if you will. And much appreciation to all my supporters. Don't forget to follow through on that rule of karma, guys. If you're cashing out on positions, make sure to follow through. If you've been holding off on that, you're looking for a good time to do it, now would be a good time. And best of luck to everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.